Hello, welcome back to Mad Card Gaming. How has your week been? Welcome back to another deck profile. We have a deck for you, as we did one last week and we teased this week's. Did we guess what it was? It's Swordsoul. I love Swordsoul. I absolutely love Swordsoul. I love Swordsoul so much. So, we have 3 Moye, because why would you not? 3 Lungion, 2 Tyre, 3 Ecclesia. Pretty standard, starter, extender, possible starter, but it needs a card in grave. Yes, this needs a card in hand. More likely to have a card in hand first turn than a card in grave. Obviously, amazing starter. Probably better than these guys, just because it can be special summoned, which will extend for free, or the normal summon if you don't have a Moye, and then you can then go into one possibly, or you can go into a Tyre, or just kind of whatever you want really. So those are your main starters. We'll put this aside for a second. Then we have the Tenyi Splash. So there's 3 Ashina, 1 blue because I'm not pronouncing that, 2 Adhara, 2 Vashuda. You probably saw that flash, so I'll try and hide it. But again, amazing. You've got your bounce back. You've kind of got, your extra tuners as well, which can summons. You've got your protection. You've got your other summoners, and your get back from your banishment zone. And of course, the main lad, Protoss. Because why would you not? Was banned, back to 1. Amazing card. Absolutely amazing card. The only annoying thing I had about him is I had a game where I could have got him out turn 1. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to get him out on my second turn. On turn 2, turn 3, I guess, in the whole of Yugioh. But there was no turn 3. Or my turn 2. It didn't happen. He went into synchro and did a bunch of everything, and then OTK'd. But the annoying thing is, he used Dark. And I mean, to be fair, I can't be annoyed because it was the first game of the set. I don't know what he was playing. He could have been playing Snake Eyes for all I knew. And this is just amazing against Snake Eyes because you get everything out, and they pop stuff, and they kind of use all their stuff already, which is what gets you the 3 different elements in the graveyard. And then you go Protoss, and then you go Fire, and then they concede, and it's amazing. So it's good times for Snake Eyes, against Snake Eyes. Ghost Mourner. Now, why do I choose Ghost Mourner? Yes, I like it as a hand trap, but here's the main thing. The reason I like Ghost Mourner so much is because you not only are doing chip damage with your Lungion, doing 1200 damage when he's synchroed, and not only do you have your synchros that then do more damage themselves anyway, which we'll get into, but if you have chosen a card and they don't want to take even more damage, even possibly damage for game, you choose a card, then if you've got one of your forced banishment cards out, you will banish it and they will take the burn damage. And I have won a game off that. I had a rescue. I was facing a rescue deck, and they just took so much damage. And then they had their big, I think it was either 3,000, 4,000, one of the two monsters out. And I just went Ghost Mourner, and then I banished it, and the damage just killed him. It was great. So that's why I love Ghost Mourner specifically in Swordsoul, for more chip damage. Ash Blossom. There is the anti-spell fragrance that we showed last week. Now, yes, we are going to play spells. Yes, I will show you the spells, but we don't run a field spell. Our spells are kind of more for first turn setting up. Once we've kind of set up, we don't really need our spells. Not massively. Not as much as the opponent possibly does. So it's going to hinder them a lot more than us. So I love this card in the deck. 3 Imperm, 1 Blackout. I like Blackout. I've run it at 1 because you can search it 2 different ways. You can actually draw it naturally. I don't use the graveyard effect of it so much to get an extra tuner, but it is nice. It's just good for like a double pop. If you have one specific synchro out, It can be a double pop. You protect the synchro, then you use the synchro's effect to banish and then rip one from the grave and one from the field. So it can be a free field rip and a graveyard banish as well. So it can do well. Obviously, you've got your free Swordsoul Emergence, kind of a starter. Add one Swordsoul from your deck to your hand. If you have a synchro, add a worm instead. This is how you search Protoss, by having a synchro out, and you search Protoss with this as well. So that's a good Protoss searcher. Yeah, as mentioned, you kind of normally do this turn 1 or ideally turn 1 and stuff anyway. Every time I played Fragrance, it never screwed me over. It's at 1, so yeah, you're not going to see it all the time anyway, but yeah, you got that. I use one Summit because of it's a way of getting a good synchro back out, or maybe an extender if you want to try and extend. But I think one's fine. One Heavenly Dragon. This is just a good quick play. I know that goes against the Fragrance, but again, they're both at 1. It doesn't really ever come to pass that I was like, oh no, I'm screwing myself over. But it's just a good card just to be like, okay, you're going to destroy one of the monsters I don't want. I can't stop the destruction for whatever reason. I'll play that and try and at least plus out of it or try and extend out of it anyway. One Call by the Grave, 3 Pot. Pot, I like Pot. I'll tell you one game that happened with Pot. See, with this deck is exactly 40 cards. People like 40, 40 be good. People want 40. But with Pot, because you banish 10, and I have Pot turn 1 and then Pot turned 2, and it can just destroy you a little bit. Maybe that's not a smart thing to do, but I did it. So for 1 Pot, generally on the first turn when I pot, I got rid of 3 Moye, I got rid of 2 Longyan, and I got rid of 1 Tire, meaning I had 1 Tire and 1 Longyan left in the deck. That was it. That was literally it. I was like, oh, I see I'm playing a 10-year deck now for the game, for the day. Okay, fun times. So yeah, that's that. So we have the extra deck. So you play 2 Monk. Some people play 3. I'm like, I've never needed a third. So I play 2 Monk, 1 Shaman, and then 1 Lan. Lan's probably going to go, if I'm honest with you. Lan was for a reason. Lan was for one reason, which was I might be able to, if I take one of their monsters, right? If I I don't know, Mind Control, Change of Heart, whatever, Triple Tactics Talents, whatever. Take one of their monsters, use mine, Lan, and then because it's a non-effect, start trying to extend. That was the idea. In just theory alone and never executed. One reason is because of, you can end up locking yourself into synchros, which is fine because it's a synchro deck. So yeah, Lan's probably going to go, but I mean, it's there. You've got your 2 Yugioh, because of course you do. Amazing starter, extender, searcher. I run 2 of this boy because I have space to, so I do. But yeah, I got 2 of him, the Banisher guy. He's the one that's the protector. So he's the one that's mentioned. If you use blackout, you target him, and then here we go. You blackout, you target him, you pop 2, you use his protection, banish a card. Because a card was banished, banish a graveyard, banish a card on the field. So I like him. He's a very good card. Then obviously you've kind of got the other boy, which is the Longyan, but the synchro version of Longyan. I normally make him when I don't have blackout, because I mean he's good, but his protection is a once per turn, and it's kind of like, if I know I'm not going to pop him myself, I'll get him out, because at least he's a 2-card disruption. If a spell or trap is activated, or a monster is summoned or special summoned, uses effect 1 for each, and then banish it, and then they take 1200. So it's just a way to be like, okay, I'll save it for your field spell, or I'll save it for your normal summon, search, or anything. It doesn't negate. The effect still goes off. That's why it's good for the field spell, because the field spell effect doesn't go off because the field spell has to stay on the field. So he's good for field spells. But yeah, the effect will still go off, but at least the card is gone. Then I run 1 Evil of the Yang Zin, 1 Baxia, 1 Phantom Baxia, obviously for the spin shuffle, and then you Phantom on top of it, using your Tenyu that is a level 1 tuner that we saw earlier, and then that gets this, and then that stops them getting light. It's also a way to then stop just Nibiru, because you used to run Baron. Now we can't run Baron, it's banned run. So yeah, no more Baron. A bit of a hit, but you know, we do what we do. Ice Jade is amazing. All of our tokens are water tuners, all of them. It's brilliant. It's amazing. I'm sure you know it has a graveyard effect. It will just come back out. It's a great card. Another great card, and one I slept on, and it's won me 2 games. I always knew this was good, so I never slept on it. This I slept on, and I just put it in because people said I needed to put it in. He's amazing. He also has a quick effect that can banish as well. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can just go, okay, boom, it's banished. And yeah, the main thing is that if it attacks a effect monster and it destroys it, then you go, okay, cool, I'm going to gain this attack and I'm attacking again. He's just a damage dealer. He literally is just like, okay, attack. Oh, destroyed because I got 3,000 attack. Okay, cool, thanks for the attack again. Boom. Now, I have got space. I've got 1 card, definitely space. If I take out the land, I've got 2. So I'm thinking of possibly doing another Baxia, because, as mentioned, you can turn 1 Baxia into this, meaning you don't get the spin because there's nothing to shuffle back in, but you've stopped light effects and you've got him out, but you still want to use a Baxia, so you have a second Baxia for if you actually want to use it. So that's why. And then to take out Lan, I figured why not possibly Tenyai, Spirit Sahar. So why not? Possibly, I might not use him. One combo I did have, and I've taken out, and I'm just going to show you guys because I ran it. I used to run this. I used to run Brandon High Spirits. I used to either reveal an Ecclesia or I used to reveal Iris. And then you would send. You would send the Dust Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard. Then, after a monster is special summoned using it, or if your opponent's monster is special summoned using an effect, then you banish this and then he comes out. It took 2 cards in the extra deck. I only ran 1 of this, so I didn't see it that often. It has to have 1 of these ready as well. You don't have to use the second effect because the second effect doesn't help you, right? I used to possibly also think about running golden Swordsouls for them, so that's why they're here, but I didn't like running those anyway. The whole combo I just gave up on. So that when these got taken out, it's one that exists. Maybe you want to run it, maybe you don't. Used to run Iris Swordsoul, I don't anymore because honestly, she's a win more card. If you've got her out, you're probably already winning. Her top decking is not good because a monster has to have his effect negated that's currently on the field for her to come out. She can only come out by the hand, or again, using the effect of these, you get to then use a graveyard effect and then get it out that way because it's got the same attack and defense. So that was another reason of getting her out. It was just a win more card. It wasn't necessary. Same as this. I used to run him as well, and he wasn't doing well. I'll be honest. The reason they're still in sleeves, and it goes into the extra deck, is for one reason. As mentioned, this is 40 cards. Not only do we run Pot of Desires, but this is a good core deck. I don't want to take out any of these specifically for a side deck. But obviously you've got like triple Tactics Talent, which I might put in anyway. I've got an extra possible tire, an extra shooter, some Ghost Pearl, the Haunted Mansion, an extra Summit, obviously double Lightstorm and Feather Duster for going second, as well as going second your main big boy evenly. Now, as you know, you have to take cards out to put cards in. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to add cards to the deck. So I possibly want at least 3, if not maybe 6 cards to be replaced. And if not minimum 3. If not, maybe 6, maybe. There are definitely not 6 cards out of here. Maybe you can take out 3, right? Possibly. But you can't take out 6. So one of the reasons I put them in here is to just fatten up the deck. So then they were an easy takeout. Every side deck was an easy goodbye, put in. All the time. It was just an easy way. But that doesn't mean it has to be these. It can just be a hand trap. It can just be another hand. It could be a Veiler, for instance, or something like that, right? It can be a better hand trap that then you just go, okay, goodbye, turn 2, I'm putting in the Evenleys. But yeah, that was a combo that I used to run. But yeah, that is the side deck. And then that brings us to the end of Swordsoul. I was also thinking about running this. I only bought 3 because I bought a playset. I'll be honest, I bought it because I misread it. Not this specifically, but I misthought of a combo. This, if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect, can special summon 1 non-effect monster from your extra deck, right? So it's kind of like a little extender. And also it's a way to get out Monk. But Baxia pops to extend itself. That's what one of Baxia's effect is. I forgot, obviously, yeah, Baxia pops your own, you're activating it, this is popped by your opponent. Yes, it can negate a monster on the field. Yes, that means it's easier for Swordsoul if you then want to run her to come out anyway, so it can negate if you've got a non-effect monster. I might not even run it, but as I said, I bought it as a playset. Let me know what you think. We then have, in these lovely back sleeves, tokens, because if you're playing Swordsoul, you need tokens. Yes, there was a couple of times I had 3 tokens because Blackout summons a token, or sometimes they would pop a card that's already summoned a token, so then I can't synchro with that card anymore because that card's disappeared, but the token's still on the field. So at that point, I just took another card or a spare field center, and I just pretended it was a token. But normally 2 tokens are fine. And these are the 2 that I run. And I'm just showing them off because I'm a nerd. But before we take a little sneak peek at what next week's deck profile is, I'm going to do a new segment called Field Card Center of the Week. So this is an official Field Card Center from World Championship 2020. It is Japanese. It is the Castle in the Sky. I love this Field Card Center. This is my favourite Field Card Center that I own. I'm literally showing you my favourite Field Card Center off the bat. It is only going to go downhill from here. But it is the Field Card Center that I use for Swordsoul. So, there you go. Yeah, and so, as a little hint for our deck next week, we're going to have a little look. And your little hint is Danger Bigfoot. Oh my god, what could it be? Oh. So yeah, there's your little hint. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If there is anything that you want to see specifically, like, again, this is the second time I've done this and I've not gone through any combos. I think, you guys have probably either seen it through the mud or also played it on Master Duel if you're playing Master Duel, or seen it on Master Duel. And also, I know Swordsoul is slightly old. I get it. It's I like it, I enjoy it, I still love it. But yeah, let me know if that is something you want to see or whatever. But until next week, peace.